So the ratings for Madden 25 are officially out, and of course, that comes with a lot of people saying, I can't believe how bad they have these ratings, or other things like, wow, they're actually a bit better than most analysts have their rankings. But one thing is for sure, it is a lot of fun, in my opinion, to look at all of the rookies and get a glimpse into who you might want to target as the game actually releases. Of course, looking at the base ratings, you can see there's 5 99s. 4 of them are in 2 teams. Tyreek Hill, of course, also the #1 player on the NFL's players list, which I think is pretty fair. Without that injury, it looks like he was about to break the single-season yardage record. Calvin Johnson breathing a sigh of relief. But these guys are much higher overalls than we are going to be looking at. However, as the title and thumbnail suggests, we are still going to be looking at some very strong or otherwise overpowered rookies in this video. We're going to have a sleeper video a little later today, and maybe a top 5 teams to use / rebuild tomorrow, along with probably a dynasty video for our Ragin' Cajuns. Dynasty. So if you guys are interested in any of that, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're not new, I do appreciate your continued support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PKR Plays for now Madden content. Might have been something over there earlier today, speaking of. Anyways, let's get into number 10 on my opinions. Top 10 most overpowered rookies headed into the launch of Madden 25. And I gotta say, maybe it was me that didn't use it like this, but this year's, list is actually really cool, because you can see pretty much, not even pretty much, physically every single rating they have. I'm not sure why finesse moves is underpassing, but obviously, spoiler alert, Byron Murphy is going to be coming in at number 10 on the overpowered list. He has 79 power move, 77 block shedding, 84 pursuit, 78 play rec, 82 hit power, 81 tackle, even has some finesse. I know a lot of, inside linemen aren't really that good at defending against finesse moves, so maybe that's the route you want to go. Of course, you get a little bit of strength at 86, you get some athleticism. You're not getting a crazy amount of height, but 6'1", 308, he is still a very big problem on the inside. Once again, you probably could move him to finesse style if you really wanted to, but obviously gonna at least start with star dev. Could be all the way up to superstar for all we know. Would not surprise me one bit, but I would guess star development trait. It doesn't show players if they're under X Factor on this list, I don't believe, so unless I'm missing something here, yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. But of course, it also shows a little tag, which is cool. Byron Murphy II is a professional player who plays for the Seattle Seahawks in the left end position in the NFL. He is blah, 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 blah. Similar players, I'm not really sure how these are similar players. Not even really the same scheme type players. That's an edge rusher, 2 edge rushers. But sure, of course, 76 overall. If he was actually a defensive tackle, might even be like a 77, 78. But that's going to be number 10, and that is a really, really strong player to be listed all the way at the bottom of our list. And coming in at number 9 on our list, Xavier Worthy, the Kansas City Chiefs' newest speedster, who has 98 speed, 96 excel, and crazy enough, actually has really good catching. That's kind of the big problem for him going into the NFL, but 81 catching, 76 spec, 75 catching traffic, really good route running. The only big problem for him is his release. Obviously, the size or lack thereof is up there as well, but overall, he is a very good player. As far as similar players go, I think they just go for the position, but Tyreek Hill, obviously, kind of a decent, I wouldn't say comp, but that's one of the first things people thought of, obviously, when the Chiefs selected him. But Xavier Worthy coming in with all of that speed and a decent bit of juke move as well. 80 juke move, 90 change of direction, 83 ball carrier vision. He is actually a really, really fast player. A lot of people thought he was probably going to come in at 99 speed. And honestly, for his sake, maybe it's a good thing they didn't get 99 speed, because there's some history with that speed rating, and it usually doesn't end too well for most players trying to be good wide receivers. Anyways, though, that is going to be number 9, Xavier Worthy. Coming in at number 8 is going to be Nate Wiggins, the cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens. He is 6'2" with 96 speed, 95 excel, 92 agility, and 90 change of direction. Obviously, there's going to be a pretty big trend with the majority of the players in this video and the next. And obviously, they have great athleticism ratings. That's what makes you a good player in, well, most games, not even just sports games, but other games. How fast you can go is usually a really good sign, right? There's really not many games where that isn't the factor. But of course, looking at his abilities as an actual defender and not just athletically, he's pretty good too. A 75 man coverage, 74 zone coverage. Hit power is not great. Press is lacking, but he's got pretty good catching. His tackle is about par for a cornerback. And obviously, once again, you come back to that height, the speed. He is going to be a really good corner. Probably star development trait, but ultimately, he's number 8, and it's a really good spot to be. Very fast, very tall, very good. And coming in at number 7, it's not Joe Alt. It is all of the really strong tackles from this latest class. Of course, a very strong offensive tackle group in this latest draft class. But because there's so many of them, they could almost make a whole list on their own. But these guys are rated really strong. We're going to showcase Joe Alt first, but we're going to look at the other guys too. This is going to be number 7 as a whole, is once again the tackle position from the latest class. 6'9", 321-pound Joe Alt, who is a 79 overall, all but guaranteed to be superstar development trade. Really fast, 89 strength, insanely high injury and toughness, so he's almost never going to miss time. Stamina is great. The blocking, he has no rating under 80. Even his awareness, he is 80 across the board, and he is just going to be a goon. He is going to be a guy that, if you can trade for him early, which I highly doubt you will be able to, you're going to have yourself a 95, 99 overall by the time year 3 rolls around. And of course, the craziest part about it is he's not the only good player. You have Fuaga, another guy with basically 80s in all the pass blocking. Super strong. Latham, 78 overall. Everything else is in the 80s. 84 pass block finesse, 87 pass block power, 82 run block finesse, 80 run block power, 90 impact, 84 base pass block, 79 run block, super strong. Then you have another giant in Mims, 6'8", 340 pounds. I mean, they went absolutely crazy with these tackles. You have Fashanu, and there's probably even more linemen, but the tackles themselves, they're all considered overpowered. They can almost make the whole damn list themselves. This is easily the best offensive lineman, specifically tackle class we have seen in a Madden game at launch for rookies. We have never seen it even close to this. They are absolute goons. Even if you look at a guy like Jordan Morgan, who the Packers took, who, a lot of people thought was a little bit of a reach, not even really considered a tackle, if you will. A lot of people said maybe he'd be a guard. Even his ratings, I mean, look at these things. Run block power is 74, but everything else is like 78 plus. Like almost every tackle in the first 3 rounds was rated really, really high. And that is going to be considered our number 7. And at number 6 comes Dallas Turner, the 78 overall edge rusher for the Minnesota Vikings, who has 90 speed, 93 acceleration, 94 jumping. I do a little worry a little bit about that stamina and toughness, but 90 injury, 77 power, 77 finesse, 73 block shed, 83 pursuit. I mean, he is just absolutely insane. And the good thing about him is the fact that if we find out that power rushers are better than finesse rushers, or we find finesse rushers are better than power rushers, he's literally equal on both of those. So you could just choose what you want to do to make him the best possible edge rusher possible. Of course, star dev, probably superstar, but once again, I wouldn't guarantee because there's a lot of guys you could argue would be superstar. Would you maybe say anyone over a 77 overall is a superstar? Maybe. I think very plausible that he is superstar, and if he is, oh my. He is basically like everything you wanted from Clowney and then some. He is going to be good in game, and he's basically going to be impossible to trade for, but he is our number 6 player. And now there might be some people that thinks that Caleb Williams at 5 is a little too low. Now, the reason why I have him at 5 isn't because he's not good, because he is very good. He's going to be at least superstar dev. He is very strong in the game. But it's not that he's insanely goated, right? He's very good. 86 speed, 89 excel. For a while, I actually had him even higher. But I felt like because he's 86 speed, that's very, very, very good, and he's very strong, I didn't want to have quarterbacks all the way at the top, 93 throw power is amazing, 81 throw under pressure, 86 short, 78 mid, 81 deep, 81 play action. This is basically my definition of well, then every quarterback's overpowered because it's the most important position. He's very good. He's going to come in at number 5 because I think the guys in front of him, they just stand out at their positions a little bit stronger, especially with how young they are. Whereas Caleb is very, very good, but there's going to be a lot of guys that can athletically do what he can do. Throw power can do what he do. He's amazing, and he's probably a top 5 quarterback to start a Madden franchise with, but he's going to be number 5 for us here. He's on the list. You can argue, I guess, the rankings themselves, but he's on the list, and that's what matters. Caleb Williams at number 5, very overpowered, very strong, and, I mean, basically impossible to fail with. And at number 4, you're probably thinking, how the hell is a 71 overall on this list? Well, the problem with that is he's not 91 speed, 81 change of direction, 6'4" off-ball linebacker. He is pretty raw, I will say. His block rating is only 64, his man's only 60. Zone at 70 is pretty good in fairness, but 87 hit power, 69 press for a linebacker is not bad, 72 catching, 83 jumping is pretty damn good, but 91 speed, 93 excel, 81 change of direction at 6'4", is ridiculous. He is one of the best. Oh, they're actually going to list him at 24. I thought they were going to list him at 23. But he's already one of the best off-ball linebackers to user in the entire game. This is basically your poor man's Isaiah Simmons. And yeah, 24 is a little old, I will admit. But as far as what he can do, being a 6'4", that type of fast linebacker, there's not many people from a pure user standpoint that are going to come close to him, and that's why he comes in, for me, at number 4. Now, at number 3, you're starting to get the more, I would say, expected picks, as it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. Comes in as a 79 overall, 6'3" wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, 94 speed, 93 excel, and look at all those chickens. All of those ratings, 84 catch, 86 spec, 82 change catch in traffic, 79 short routes, 81 medium, 77 deep route, and 75 release. He is already a wide receiver 1, and he is a 79 overall, at least superstar, maybe X Factor, who once again is a can't-fail player. He's just a really good wide receiver. There's really not much more that needs to be said about it. He's number 3. Now, at number 2, this is where, you kind of argue about the position rankings, as Brock Bowers is going to be our number 2. He's a 6'3" tight end that the Raiders kind of shockingly took, as it was like, hey, they already got Michael Mayer. What are they doing? You take the best player on the board, and that's exactly what they did. 89 speed, 91 excel, has some agility, juke move solid. The big thing for him is trucking. It is very hard to find a tight end with even close to 74 trucking, and that's what he has. He has great change of direction. His catching is crazy good. I will say some of his route running's a little lower, which, I mean, most tight ends are going to be, but he is just an athletic freak. 6'3" is a little shorter than you would like him to be, I suppose, but he's going to be, at minimum, a superstar development trade player. And outside of maybe arguing, oh, Caleb should have been number 2 or number 1, Brock at number 4, number 5, Marvin, whatever, you can't deny that he's not one of the most overpowered rookies in Madden 25 at launch. And now, before we move on to the number 1 most overpowered player, we have some honorable mentions, 4 of them to be exact. We have running back Trey Benson, also from the Arizona Cardinals, like Marvin Harrison Jr., 6'1", 223 pounds with a lot of speed. Great juke move at 85, 86 change of direction. Pretty good catching. He was actually originally on this list, and then, of course, you've seen some of those other names. He just barely fell off of that list, and I unfortunately had to remove him from it, but a really good running back, and maybe even the best running back rookie-wise in the game. Then another honorable mention, Brian Thomas Jr., the 6'3", 95 speed, 95 acceleration wide receiver. Release is lacking, but everything else is really, really good. Even has some juke moves. He was actually on the list as well, and then as the list kept growing, unfortunately also had to be taken off of it. Devondre Sweat, a guy that definitely wasn't going to make the overpowered list because he is actually kind of raw when it comes to trying to get to the quarterback, but he makes the honorable mentions list because he's 6'5", 366 pounds with 94 strength and 78 block shed. Getting him to actually be good at pass rushing, though, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge. However, as a 366-pound, 68 finesse move DT, or nose tackle, if you will, I am intrigued to see if that is possible, to get that finesse to a workable number. Imagine seeing a 366-pounder doing finesse moves at a high rate. win. That would be insane, but he's going to be our third of 4. And then for the last guy, it's going to be Roma Dunze, a 6'3" wide receiver with 91 speed, 94 excel, pretty damn good juke move, great change of direction, and some really high receiving ratings. 85 catch, 84 spec, 83 catch in traffic, 80 short, 77 medium, deep route of 75, and a release of 74. Of course, there's so many really good players on this list that he couldn't make it, but honorable mention-wise, very, very talented. And then number 1 is going to be quarterback Jayden Daniels, a 6'4" quarterback with 90 speed, 91 acceleration, some juke moves, some change of direction, and of course, really good passing ratings. 90 throw power, 78 throw under pressure, 85 short, 77 mid, 79 deep, 76 play action. Not sure exactly what his dev's going to be. Probably going to be star development trade. The reason why I had him higher than Caleb Williams, I feel like 90 speed, 91 excel. I don't know if you can physically, no matter how many upgrade points you get, actually get him to that as Caleb Williams. But as far as Jayden Daniels goes, he can definitely get 93 throw power and whatever accuracy ratings Caleb Williams can get. And of course, he is bigger, which is, I mean, kind of more fun, if you will. So obviously, I put Jayden Daniels at number 1, I thought, and made the most sense. Just so elusive, so fast, and really good at throwing the ball already. There's some other great players that could have made the list, like Drake May. I mean, he's really good. There's a lot of really good rookies. Maybe one of the best rookie classes we've seen at launch for a Madden game, I gotta be honest. But let me know what you guys thought of this list. Was there a name that should have been on there that I didn't put on? Is there a player that was on there that shouldn't have been on there? Maybe you're like Payton Wilson at 24 years of age. He's only a 71 overall, but I feel like that 6'4" and that speed, it deserves to be up there. Maybe a little lower on the list, though. Let me know what you guys thought of the players you've seen and in general of the video idea itself. There will be a top 10 sleepers video a little bit later today, so be on the lookout for that. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Once again, if you enjoyed, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I do appreciate getting support on the channel. Maybe follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr. Second channel, PK Plays for non-Madden content. And that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.